Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to American Falls by Lancyboi. Happy Thursday? Yeah, I guess it is Thursday. Episode 117. Episode 17, I believe. I was just glancing over at OBS. I'm starting to get used to using this thing. I honestly, I really don't know if I like it any better or even any worse than Shadowplay. I'll tell you, the one thing I haven't gotten used to yet is launching OBS before launching the game. Because with Shadowplay, it's just always on, so I just never gave it a second thought. I just hit the macro, the Alt F9, and Shadowplay starts recording. Now I got to remember to load OBS before I start the game. It's a minor thing. My brain will get wrapped around it eventually. But the one thing I don't understand, and I bet one of you knows, what is this scenes business here? So I see on the bottom there, it says scenes are seen, S-C-E-N-E, as in like a scene of a movie or a play. And then next to it I have obviously my source, which is the game. Right now it's Game Capture Farming Simulator, whatever. I was just curious what scene is. I don't know if any of you could help me out with that. I suppose I could Google it, but it just came to my mind. Anyways, enough mucking around. Oh, our clock is slowed down. We need to get that up to snuff. I will slow our clock down, just so you know why that was slowed down. When I finish an episode, I save the game and I crank the time way down, just so I don't waste time doing other things that I want to do, like looking around and whatnot, maybe preparing for the next game, our next episode. No cheating going on, okay? Hey, before I forget, actually before I get any further, let's get this thing set up. And let's get cultivating. Yes, I know, cultivating, right? Oh my gosh, how exciting. We are cultivating. We're gonna throw, just for grins, that's not really what I wanted. We're going to throw this on today just to see how she's looking. Yeah. Let's get her going. We'll use a little bit of, we'll use a little GPS action this time around just for funsies. So, I threw a mod in the mix, and I want to get your opinion. I want to give you my thoughts, and then I want your thoughts. Now, next month, I think we're going to enable Rain Pain. I am curious about the mod. We can always put the kibosh on it if, for some reason, it just doesn't seem to play well, or we have issues with it, or we hate it. But I think I feel like I owe Gen X Stoner Rain Pain because of the GPS. So I think we're back to even Steven, okay, on that. Now, I found another mod that I found interesting. Now, this might come down to I get a mod, Gen X gets a mod. So I'm being very careful about this because I've been warned, I think Jeffrey warned me to not make a deal. So I'm not making a deal yet. All right, let's be very clear about this. This is not me making a deal. This is me doing a little discovery and getting some feedback from you all on what you think about this mod. It's kind of cool. I hadn't paid a lot of attention to it when it came out. I remember when it came out, and I really didn't think much about it, but recently I did. And it's this guy right here, the Lease Farmland mod. Now, at first glance, I thought, this kind of is giving me a bit of the making it easy on myself vibe, okay? Which we know we don't want to do. We don't want to make things easy. But then I started giving it some more thought, and I started kind of playing with it a little bit. It's kind of cool. I actually think it's kind of slick. It does exactly what it says it'll do. You can go in here, and you have to be careful because of the way this map is set up, you have field numbers, but you have farmland numbers. I don't know how else to put it. When you look at this, you have to be careful that you're looking at this fields column and not this farmland column. All right. So what it is you can lease, obviously, duh, you can lease fields, right? And up front, it kind of comes across like it's pretty cheap. Wow, you know, leasing field, we'll use field 7 as an example. It's $1,165 a day, it says. So I'm assuming for us it'll be about $3,000 a month to lease field 7. And when you lease it, you've got full access. It's like you own it. You don't own it, but it's like you own it, okay? Now, you could cheat so easy with this mod. I'm thinking it would be a fairly easy mod to cheat with. I don't know, though. Actually, once you lease it... Oh, what are you doing, Brad? Once you lease it, I don't think you can turn around. I don't think you can lease it for $1,000 and then harvest the field and then on-lease it. I don't think you can do that. If you could, that's kind of cheaty, but whatever. We're not going to do that. But I got to thinking about it. Man, look how beautiful it is out here on American Falls. Sometimes I just got to stop and take a look at this place. That's picturesque. That's Farming USA. That is beautiful. Nice job, Lancyboi. Getting it done. Custom lighting. It just looks gorgeous. I'm not a big fan of the mountains in the background. I feel like I would rather see rolling hills in the background. I feel like those mountains just aren't right, maybe. But anyways, that's being nitpicky. It's a beautiful map. Here's what I'm thinking about the field lease. Yeah, we're getting into fields cheaper, and we're getting into fields faster than we probably normally would. But even if we leased field 7, which currently has barley, in order for us to even do anything with it, we would have to... We don't have a harvester, so we don't have a combine, so we're definitely going to have to lease a combine, or eventually buy one, hopefully. So you're still going to have equipment costs. You're still going to have time invested, which for us is not cheap because of the 6x time we're playing on. We have to be careful about finishing what we start and getting things done, right? Especially when we start dealing with crops that we're actually responsible for as far as withering and all this other stuff. So I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. Like I said, I particularly don't want to make my life too easy or any easier on this map. And if you feel like the field lease mod is going to do that, let me know your thoughts. We won't do it. If we do it, Lancyboi, Gen X Stoner, technically then gets to throw a mod in the mix because I have then assumed responsibility for adding a mod to the game. So yeah, there's that risk because I don't know what Gen X has in store for me. Apparently, I was talking to him on Discord. By the way, we do have a Discord channel. Please go out there, check it out. That'd be awesome. I actually was on there 2 nights in a row, which is a huge record for me. But we were discussing it a little bit on Discord, and I guess the rain pane was supposed to be the offset for my GPS, which I can get behind. I get behind that. So we're even Steven with that, but if I had this field lease business, things could get ugly quick. So if we picked, let's say we picked field... I feel like I'm yelling in the mic today. Am I yelling? Does it sound like I'm yelling? I feel like I'm yelling. Field 7, for instance, $1,165 cost per day. Total cost of the field. Actually, the fields on this map aren't horrific. They're priced reasonably, I think, for the size even. So we would be responsible for basically $3,000 a month for that field, which I think would be kind of silly to do while it's growing. Unless then you think about it and you say, well, maybe not, Brad, because if you lease the field while it's still in its earlier stages, that gives you an opportunity to get some fertilizing done and some other things that the other farmer didn't do, and you can increase the yield. Because I was looking at field 7, which is barley. Right now it's got a yield potential of 75%. We could run over there with our spreader, since we have a spreader. Technically, well, we're leasing a spreader, but it's ours to use. We could run over there with our spreader. We could spread fertilizer, get that yield up, wait for harvest season. We'd have to lease a combine, because we're not going to be able to buy a combine this early in the game. And at least then we would be able to, you know, get some crops going. Now, we don't have a farm. We don't have silos. Everything would be direct to market. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but another part of this to me says, because really, where would we keep a combine if we don't have a farm? I mean, our little driveway where our double wide is at is going to get pretty full. Now, if you look at the storyline behind American Falls, I think it all kind of fits, though. We are responsible for this entire county. We're the one responsible farmer. It makes sense that we would probably be able to lease farms from these farmers. You know, it's kind of a build trust thing. Make sure things are taken care of. It also stands to reason that they probably wouldn't mind if we kept a combine sitting around at one of these empty farms that we have all around us that aren't being used. So I don't think we'd get complaints from the county for just keeping our combine sitting on one of these, you know, one of these farms. I don't think anybody would care about that. So at the end of the day, excuse me, the end of the day, for me, I'm kind of for trying it out. My only concern, I think would be the word. Whoops, didn't want that. My only concern at this point would be what Gen X has in mind for a mod to offset the Field Lease mod. Let's go inside for a little bit. I feel like some indoor night driving. It's getting a little chilly out. It is December after all. It's the second half of December, in fact. So there's a snow symbol. Is that sun and snow? What is oh, weather's clear. All right, so we're good to go. Come on, Brad, scroll. Can you grab it? There you go, buddy. You're gonna get it. Yeah. January is looking like some snow action for sure. February looks wet. Oh boy. Lovely. That's what I didn't want to see. Rain pain, here we come. So yeah, I'm up for it. I'm up for the Field Lease. I think the temptation would be to go hog wild on it right away because it's so cheap. But I think you would quickly find yourself in a world of hurt if you did that because of just that reoccurring cost, you know. That's one thing I'm trying to teach my kids to, and I wish my parents would have maybe taken more time with that, but I'm trying to teach my kids, look, instant satisfaction is great and all, you know. You want something, you go out and buy it. But I'll tell you, it catches up with you so fast. And I'm not embarrassed to say I've had my issues with the debt man. and the credit card crapola. And I had to learn, I guess you could say, the hard way. I don't think there's an easy way to learn credit card debt, but don't do it. Don't get involved in it. I also learned eventually that all those people that were around me in my social network that I thought were doing great, and you know, they were buying new cars, and they were getting the latest coffee makers and the latest, I don't know why coffee makers, but because I'm thinking about getting one. But they're getting the latest TV, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, dang, man, where are they getting this money? It's like, this is fantastic. I must be doing something wrong. Only to find out, I don't think they owned about 90% of what was sitting in their house. It's sad. It's sad how quickly we can fall prey to the debt, man. Anyways, I don't want to get preachy into that. That's not fun stuff. But it's something we all learn, hopefully earlier than later. But something I learned. And the only reason I guess I brought that up is because I know that if I jump out and start leasing fields by the dozen, we're going to quickly be hurting for certain on our monthly payments. I'm going to free up a little bit more space here. We're 44%. Really loving this. It's so funny how little mods can just be so nice. Just little things like that. Like our buddy up there that gives us the breakdown of our contract completion. So handy. I wish it would default to that. I prefer it without the sliding scale myself. But it doesn't seem like it wants to do that. Even if I save the game with it like that, it kind of just goes back. I should look at the mod and tinker around with it a little bit. The other thing I wish that modders would do when they do mods like this is give you font and color control, so that you can change the size of the font, change the location of where that thing is at. What mod am I thinking of? There's a mod. I can't remember which one it is. I think even the tip side HUD that shows you which part of your trailer you're tipping from. I think that thing even has some configuration to it where you can change colors and whatnot, but I'm going to check it out. I'm a blind guy, so I like to be able to adjust font bigger. And I like to be able to move it around my screen. I don't like to have it in one location. You know what I'm saying? Even though that location's not really bad, I'd probably leave it where it is. But anyways, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. You're getting what I'm throwing down, as the kids say. I don't know that the kids say that, but you're getting what I'm throwing down. I think it's Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I think you're the one, I believe, that listens to my videos at work. You're not able to really watch them as much, so you kind of listen to them. I was thinking about you today when, I apologize if it's not Jeffrey. That's who came to my mind, but I was thinking about that today because I was in the same situation. I kind of had a lengthy project to do today, one that I hate doing. It's our quarterly, we call it a quarterly bin audit, BIN, where I have to go through, or somebody has to go through, and we have to do an asset audit to make sure that we have the laptops and desktops and whatnot in our stash that we're supposed to have. Thank God I don't have to do it for the whole building. That would be insane. In fact, the company I work for, I looked the other day out at I believe it was the Microsoft, I forget what site it was. It was one of our analytics sites, and it showed that we, as a company, as a whole, have over 800,000 laptops. are PCs, desktops, laptops, workstations, that may even include on-site servers. I just was like, what? It's insane. This is by far the largest company I've ever worked for, and I work for just a small section of it, and it just boggled my mind. Anyways, it is what it is. But going back to what I was saying, it was kind of nice. I turned on YouTube. I was listening to I like true crime quite a bit. I like there's a YouTube channel where they kind of do like what really happened kind of thing, or they try to make the best guess as to what really happened in this, XYZ crime or whatever it was, or missing person, or whatever the subject is of the day. So they basically say what happened. They go through the backstory, not at length. It's not like Judy was. It drives me crazy when I'm watching documentaries about these true crimes, and they go back to like, Judy was such a pleasant baby, really just a blessing to the. It's like first of all, everybody says that. Okay, your kid could be the devil incarnate. Rosemary's Baby. Your kid could be Rosemary's Baby. If you don't know who that is, look it up. The kid could be Rosemary's Baby, and the parents are still going to say, what a bundle of joy. Beautiful baby. Anyways, skip all that. I don't give a rat's fat behind how she was when she was a kid. I want to hear what happened to her, what the crime was, what happened. So they jump right to it, and they tell you about the crime, and then they kind of give you all the theories. Some of them are a little bit far out there, but they want to cover their bases to tell you what internet sleuths have come up with, or detectives and all this other stuff. And some of them are a little bit crazy. Some of them are far out there. But then at the end, they generally give the most likely thing. What they consider to be the most likely thing that happened. Now, sometimes, I don't know what that theory is called. Is it Occam's razor? Something like that, where, the most easiest explanation is the most likely kind of thing. And sometimes that's the case, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes it's kind of crazy. People are crazy, man. The world is full of some seriously crazy people. It really disturbs me sometimes, but I can't. But I enjoy. Oh, look at that moon. But I enjoy. How can we have so many full moons? That doesn't seem right. Anyways, I still enjoy it. I think if you watch too much of it, you kind of feel like everybody's that way. Like, man, I can't even leave my stinking house. I'm gonna get robbed and kidnapped and thrown into a trunk and driven to Florida, because that's where 99% of people who die in a trunk get taken to, is Florida. I'm totally convinced of that, by the way. And if you live in Florida, my apologies, but I got a buddy who used to live in Florida. They lived in Florida for about 8 years. He told me that it's hell on earth. That's his opinion. Words out of his mouth. Florida is hell on earth. He said in the summertime, it is so ungodly hot. No, Brad, I don't want to fold it. I want to lift it. He said one thing, it's so ungodly hot in the summer. They have something called, I'd never heard of this before, called the wet bulb. I don't know, have any of you heard of this? It's some deal where it's like there's a standard that weather people go by, where the wet bulb is like at a certain number, and if you go above the wet bulb, it's the humidity is from Satan. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Something like that. But he said it's just ungodly. It's ungodly. And I have no interest. Plus, he said people are stinking crazy. Please complete your contract. Yeah, we're working on it, buddy. We're working on it. We're going to get there. We're at 66%. We'll get there. He said that, half the time he thinks there's got to be, dead people in trunks, and your neighbors probably got some kind of underground lair going on, and it's freak central. I guess drivers down there are horrific. I guess the traffic is horrific. You take your life into your own hands every time you even think about getting on the road. None of it sounds pleasant to me in any way, shape, or form. I would miss the seasons too. As much as I have grown to really kind of get fed up with winter, I honestly don't think I would want to move someplace where I don't have seasons. I need my fall. I need my falls. That's really the bottom line. I have to have my fall. I have to have temperatures that vary, preferably generally cooler than hotter. Now, I think I've mentioned I had visited San Francisco for a couple weeks years ago, and it was very nice. Temperate climate. Absolutely loved the climate. I would consider San Francisco, except you have to be a billionaire to live there. And I would consider it too, but I don't think they have the falls, man. The changing of color and that smell of burning leaves and just everything that goes with fall. The cool nights where you're like, if you're like me, you open the windows so it's cold in the room, and then you get underneath like a down comforter or something, and it's so nice. It's so nice. I can't sleep when it's hot. I can't sleep sweaty. I can't sleep if I'm sweating. I have zero interest in all that nonsense. No doubt about it. What am I doing? I want to stay inside this time. 74%. We are getting close. We're darn close. Ooh, boy, I took that corner a little fast, didn't I? So my apologies if any of you are from Florida. I don't mean to wreck your state, but I've heard the Florida stuff from more than one person easily. In fact, I've heard it a couple times on YouTube where with true crime, where they'll even start the episode off with, here's another good one from Florida. So, I don't know. What is it with Florida? I don't get it. Is it the heat? It probably is. It's probably the heat. And honestly, between the heat, the drivers, and the fear of dying every day from getting bitten by and eaten by a crocodile, or is it alligators? I always get those messed up. You know what I'm saying? By a large lizard. All right? If every time I leave the house I have to worry about getting eaten by a giant lizard, forget about it. Forget about it. It's like when I was a kid, my parents used to get off on telling us kids, about the good old days. I'll tell you what, if you haven't had cow's tongue, you don't know what you're missing, boy. That's what my dad would always say. If you haven't had cow's tongue, you don't know what you're missing, boy. Or, enter XYZ crazy ass food instead of cow's tongue. If you haven't had sheep testicles, you haven't eaten. Just stuff to freak us out as kids. Just to get a reaction out of us. And I would always be thinking, why would you even do that? There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of food options out there to where you don't need to eat cow's tongue or cow's testicles or sheep testicles. Rocky Mountain oysters, is that what they call them? You don't need to eat any of that. Now, if I was starving Marvin and I didn't have anything else to eat, sure. Throw a cow's tongue on my plate. I'm not gonna turn it down. I'm not stupid. But guess what? I'm sitting there as a young whippersnapper, you know, 6, 7 years old. I'm looking over at the cabinet while my dad's telling us how cow's tongue should be a staple. I'm looking at our cabinet going, I don't think so. I'm seeing peanut butter and jelly and bread, and I guarantee you that's cheaper than cow's tongue. So guess what there, Daddy-O? You can throw that on my plate any day over stinking cow's tongue or sheep balls. I'll tell you that straight up. But it was kind of a shock factor, right? They wanted to throw the, you know, throw the shock factor in there, and how amazing. Almost like we're supposed to be impressed by it. Like, oh, wow. Dad, you were, you know, you were hardcore eating cow's tongue. No. But I bet if you threw some cow's tongue, you know, you marinate it overnight maybe. I'm assuming cow's tongue is going to be, as most meat from the tongue family would be, I would think. Cow's tongue, sheep tongue, horse tongue, whatever tongue you grab, is going to be chewy, I would think. It doesn't strike me as being a very tender cut of meat. I would think there's not a lot of fat there. It's mostly going to be muscle, you know. And I don't want my taste buds intertwining with something else's taste buds. That sounds like a bad thing waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, my taste buds shouldn't be tasting anything or anyone else's taste buds. Taste buds on taste buds is a bad idea. And I guarantee, if you look, have you ever looked at a tongue under like a microscope? I have. I've seen pictures of tongues like real close up, and they're disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So I can only imagine that those long, foot-long cow tongues aren't exactly pleasing. But if I had to, I would probably marinate it overnight, soak it in something. I don't know what it would be. Maybe, I don't know, what would you soak it in? Beer? Maybe soak it in some kind of dressing or some kind of a Lowry seasoning. So I don't know. Any kind of the number of seasoners out there. You soak the hell out of it overnight. Basically, the reason you do that, right, is to soften it up, but also to get rid of that flavor, you know. Make sure it's not all gamey. Because I've had other friends tell me, oh, you got to try wild turkey versus, you know, store-bought turkey. Why? Why do I need to try that? Oh, because it's so much better. So guess what I did? I tried wild turkey. No, it's not better. No, it was not better. In fact, it was not good. Well, it was all right. I don't want to offend the people that made it because, you know, they did what they did. But it was gamey and it was fatty. I'm not a big dark meat fan, so I kind of like the lighter meat. Why is if you look in our mirror there, you see how light that looks? That doesn't look right. Looks like the sky is a lot lighter. Yeah, it's not that light out. But it wasn't that great. I'll take store-bought turkey. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe that's the thing, is I'm a typical American, from the grocery store to the table, spoiled kind of guy. You know. I got another buddy. I'm not too far off on this one. I like venison. I'm up for venison. I get it. I get deer meat. I used to hunt. I actually enjoy venison, but I prefer it, especially if you're doing ground. I want fat mixed into it, and I want it to be more juicy like that. I don't want it too lean. I also like venison that's prepared properly with some seasoning and stuff. Otherwise, it gets a little gamey too. I'm just not a gamey meat fan, you know. I don't want my meat to taste like I'm licking the ground in the forest. You know, I want my meat to taste what I'm familiar with, more or less. if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but it is what it is. But even today, my dad will make some comment, you know, like, you haven't lived until you've had fried okra. No, I've lived. Trust me. I've lived. And I'll continue to live without fried okra. Now, I've tried fried okra. I'll try almost anything. I'm not picky. When I was a kid, I was a little bit more picky, but I'm not picky anymore. I'll try pretty much anything you throw down in front of me. I'm going to give it a go. There's limits. I'm not going to eat bugs. It's just there's no reason to eat a bug. There's no reason. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to eat a spider. I don't feel like I'm a better person for it. I don't feel like I'm more of a man. I don't feel like I'm proving anything to anybody. I'm not eating spiders. It's not going to happen. It's disgusting. I watched some special where some people were cooking up tarantulas. And it made me gag. It's like, I think there were even bananas hanging up above their head, and they were still cooking up tarantulas. It's disgusting. Look at the juicy meat on this tarantula. Oh, you mean the meat that's underneath all that hair? That meat? The meat that looks yellow? That meat? No. No thanks. I'm not eating worms or crickets or any of this other nonsense they say is high in protein. No, there's enough other stuff out there that's high in protein. I don't need to eat a worm or a spider. This is not going to happen. I have no chocolate. Oh, we'll dip them in chocolate. No. 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 You can dip it in 24 karat gold and I'm not freaking eating it. It's just not going to happen. That's what DiGiorno's is for, man. DiGiorno's frozen pizza. My favorite frozen pizza from the store. I'm just going to lay it out. DiGiorno's thin crust pepperoni. Done. Love that frozen pizza. DiGiorno's thin crust pepperoni. Ooh, we are done. I have tried a lot of different frozen pizzas, and there's other good ones. But my favorite is DiGiorno's thin crust pepperoni. I just tried this Motor City. I've had people on me about trying this Motor City pizza, frozen pizza. Brad, you gotta try the Motor City deep dish. You gotta try it. It's so good. It's easily the best frozen pizza out there. So I grabbed one. I grabbed the regular pepperoni, Motor City deep dish. I guess they're all deep dish, I think, and it was good. It was really good, but it didn't beat the DiGiorno's thin crust pepperoni for me. I've tried them all. You know, the easy ones like the Tombstone, Red Barons, Jacks, all that stuff, and then you get into the fancier ones that are more expensive. I actually really like the California. I think it's just called California pizza. They have a pepperoni that's really good. Yeah, all the little fancy ones I've tried. I don't think there's one in our supermarket here that I haven't tried. And I even actually don't mind the Chuck E. Cheese's. Chuck E. Cheese came out with their own frozen pizzas. You know, you can go to now and get a Chuck E. Cheese's one. Not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not gourmet, but it's not too bad. But everybody's got their own thoughts, their own opinions of frozen pizzas. I get that. I respect that. But if you haven't tried... Why do I keep forgetting to lift the cultivator bread? But if you haven't tried the DiGiorno thin crust pepperoni, I recommend it. In fact, I've got one in my freezer right now that's tempting. It's a little late, though. Let's collect on this bad boy before I forget to do that and get penalized for it. 70,000, just over 70 grand. Not too shabby. I'm feeling good about that. We had a good December. No major mistakes, no major hiccups. I think we did okay. We're going to wrap it up now for December. January, I have no idea what to expect for contracts. We might be in a rut for the next couple of months. We have nothing to do, so we'll just fast forward through those if we have to. Give me your thoughts on the field lease. Let me know what you think about this. I'm kind of up for it. I'm kind of up for it. Basically, according to the mod author, once you lease it, that's just going to be your payment right there for until I guess you pay it off, is my guess. The one thing I don't know is if we lease this field and pay on it for 6 months and we decide to buy it, do we get it? Does our lease money go towards the final cost? I don't know. You would think it would, but I don't know. Maybe I'll test that out. Or if any of you have used this mod, let me know. Let me know the pros and the cons that you found. Gen X Stoner, I have not committed to this mod. You will have my answer tomorrow, Friday's episode. You will have my final commitment on the field lease mod. If it's a go, have a mod ready for me, my brother. Because I'll man up and I'll follow the deal, okay? You all take care of yourselves. You know I mean it. Make sure you take care of each other. Stay safe out there. There's probably some Florida resident driving around your community right now looking to kill you. So look out for Florida license plates. So bad. So bad. I don't know how. The home office is I'm going to get a letter. I'm going to get a letter from the home office. They're going to be upset with me for talking smack about Florida. You know, Brad, you can't do that. You're going to get sued. They've already threatened to fire me, which I find funny because I'm literally the only reason there is a home office. If they fire me, I don't even know why they'd go to work anymore. I'm their only channel. So, you know, good luck with that, I guess. I don't even know what they're doing there. Chad, the intern, is coming back. I got a postcard from Chad the other day. He's in Guatemala. I guess, I don't know what he's doing in Guatemala. Actually, I do. He's doing some missionary work in Guatemala. Poor Chad, though, once again found out that he's not getting paid for whatever he's doing down there. So Chad can't find the right job that pays. He either keeps getting intern work or this free work, thinking he's going to get a check. He doesn't get a check. He realizes what he's doing and then bails. And for some reason, he's coming back to me. And I already told him I ain't paying squat, Chad. You know, in fact, honestly, there might be some days I'm not even going to let him talk. Other days, you know, maybe so. We'll see. But Chad's on his way back. I guess he's on a boat. It's going to take him a couple months to get back home. So hopefully he'll get back safely. Poor Chad. All right, you guys, take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow for the weekly wrap-up. ATS. Yeah, TBG mentioned. I am talking a bit about ATS. I might actually do some recording on ATS this weekend if I'm in the right frame of mind. Just beware. I get a little road ragey on ATS and Euro Truck sometimes. So just, you know, kind of a heads up on that. I'm not a road ragey guy in real life because, you know, it's just not worth it. But in American Truck Sim and Euro Truck, oh man, I go off on these people. So, you know, maybe that's something to consider before you watch. But all right then, I'm rambling. You guys take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching again. I'm so happy you guys are all here. You're the best community in Farming Simulator, hands down. I'm a lucky dude, so thank you for that. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.